Hello and welcome to Shalom. So in my last video I taught you guys how to deal with intrusive thoughts when they come up in your daily life using techniques supported by exposure and response prevention therapy, the gold standard of OCD treatment. Exposure and response prevention, or ERP therapy, works very well to prevent OCD symptoms. Most of ERP therapy teaches us how to do structured, long exposures for our fears. However, if we want to beat OCD, we need to learn how to apply those ERP principles to our daily lives. In today's video, we're going to talk about compulsions. Ideally, OCD sufferers should not give into a compulsion at all, but we know that can be incredibly difficult. Sometimes an intrusive thought makes us too anxious to avoid a compulsion at that time. Therefore, we have tools to help us avoid ritualizing if completely not doing the ritual is too hard. Imagine what I teach in this video once again as ERP to go. A smaller version of ERP that you can fit in your pocket, pull out whenever you want, but at the same time will not replace the bigger version. The first tool I will teach you is to delay the ritual. For example, if you feel the need to wash your hands after touching a contaminated surface, try to postpone washing your hands for as long as you can. You can start with 5 minutes or however long you think you can handle, and then work up to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. Eventually, while waiting to ritualize, your anxiety will decrease so much that you will not feel the urge to wash your hands anymore. Another tool is to reduce the ritual. If OCD tells you to check your household appliances 10 times before bed, reduce it to 7 times. Keep reducing it each day until you reach 0 times. You can also reduce the ritual by reducing the amount of time you do it. 5 minutes becomes 3 minutes and so on. It may be helpful to set a goal each day on how long or how many times you're going to do the ritual. Rituals are often very specific and rigid. OCD gives us a lot of rules to live by, and one way to manage these rituals is by breaking at least one of those rules. If you have a ritual where you have to pray in your room every night before bed, try switching up when you do the ritual, where you do the ritual, or what you say in the ritual. You could also interrupt the ritual by stopping in the middle of it. Or when OCD tells you to do the ritual, do something else first, like call a friend or watch a short YouTube video. Another more silly way to handle a ritual is to do it in slow motion. People with OCD often rush to get their rituals done because they take up so much time. However, doing a ritual in slow motion can be a tool to decrease the ritual. If you have a ritual where you have to wash your hands 6 times, wash them only 3 times, but do it very slowly. Be mindful as you wash your hands as well. Focus on the hot water, the slippery soap, and the suds on your skin. By doing this, you'll be more focused on what you're doing than on your intrusive thoughts. It will also give your anxiety a chance to calm down, so it will be easier to not finish the ritual, and it will be easier to reduce it again the next time. Something that may work well for mental rituals is thought stopping. Now, we don't want to stop the obsessions because that will never work and will actually give us more intrusive thoughts. Instead, we want to stop the compulsions. Mental compulsions can often be very automatic, so with this exercise, we'll be able to stop the compulsions before they happen. When you get an urge to do a compulsion after getting an intrusive thought, imagine a stop sign and think the word stop. I personally do a different version of this. When I get an intrusive thought and feel myself about to perform a mental ritual or an avoidance behavior, I imagine the word okay. It's a way to accept that the thought is there without reassuring myself or avoiding. Just make sure this doesn't become a ritual too. There you have it, therapy-approved ways to deal with compulsions on the go. Having embarrassing obsessions and compulsions are a part of OCD that nobody likes, but there is a way to reduce your symptoms using exposure and response prevention therapy. Exposure and response prevention therapy is the gold standard of OCD treatment, and it has been useful for many people, including myself. I will link to my ERP video right up here, and in the end screen. A couple announcements. Number 1, I was on a podcast, which is totally crazy, mind-blowing. But I was on a podcast. If you haven't heard of them, they're called theocdstories.com. I was interviewed by them for their podcast. It is available on YouTube and on iTunes, and I'll post a link to their article about it below. Second announcement is that I'm going to be doing a Q&A video. This is probably going to be up in the next couple of weeks. I don't know when exactly, but if you want, post your questions down in the comments below in this video or in the video I'm going to make more formally announcing it, or send them to me on Twitter. And you can ask me anything you want on any topic you want, anything you're curious about OCD, about my life, whatever. And yeah, I'm very excited to be doing this Q&A, and I'm very excited to be talking to you guys. Those are my 2 announcements. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all later. Subscribe for more info on OCD and mental illness and mental health, and yeah. Bye! There you have it. Therapy approved.